So we're trying something a little bit new today. Those of you that know me, I'm known for my math on Reddit. I long-winded posts, big long analyses. If you watched other, bigger streamers or entertainers or content creators, a lot of the times they are linking my Reddit threads when talking about the math on different posts. Not saying all of them do, and I have no problem with them doing it. But usually you're hearing the numbers that I've kind of compiled together. So in an attempt to not be a boomer dad and get with the technology, I'm going to kind of do a video walkthrough of everything that I've already kind of inputted in text. If you don't like to read, if you're, I don't know, don't want to read, if you don't have the attention span to read, whatever it is, I'm going to do one here. And if I have to update it in the future, well, then fuck, I guess I'll do it. We'll talk about the ones that are really good to get. We'll talk about the ones that are definitely not buys, and we'll kind of get into that later. I'm going to try something new today, and I am going to do a little bit editing here, even though I do hate hearing my own voice, but I'll tolerate it for the few of you that do watch. So some kind of graphic will appear, I don't know, there, one of these directions, or maybe I'll split the screen. We'll see what works the best. So getting right into it, carbonate circuit boards, you're needed all the way from, relic 1 all the way to relic 8. Everybody's constantly asking about where to farm them, how to get them. I'm running out. Very, very easy to farm on those first nodes. I think it's like LS1F or G or something. I actually never farm them. I think it's a waste of my time, especially with needing so much cryotech. I'd much, much, much rather just buy 10 of these packs. I always buy up to 1,000. So if I have, 500 at the time, I end up buying 3, 4, 5 packs. If I have 1,000, then I skip them for that month because they're coming back in a month anyway. Okay, so we look at the crystal costs. 50 crystal refresh, you're looking at about 3.47 crystals per carbonate circuit board. We look at the direct shipment value, which is 5 crystals. The daily deal value, which is 5.24 crystals, which is higher than the direct shipment, which is kind of strange when looking at all of the numbers. But those Iridium daily deals, sometimes they do offer some other good things that you might need, and you might find that you get a really good one that has shards that you just can't pass up, or has other relic materials, and it kind of evens out and brings the cost down for you. But what I find with those packs is that there's kind of like a trap where you think you need something because you're missing those shards, but in reality, it's not going to do anything for you in the short term. 500 crystal packs, 3.125 crystals is your expected value, okay? For those of you that don't know what expected value is, I didn't know what expected value was a year and a half ago, and I'm kind of learning this on the fly too. But the TLDR on that is basically, if you buy something one time, your value is whatever you got, okay? And if you're buying something once every 6 months, each time you buy that pack, your value is whatever you got. But if you're buying these things consistently, you're buying multiple in a month. Like I said, I buy them pretty much every month. Your expected value is kind of where the odds are going to fall, whether you got 100 this month, or 300 next month spending less crystals. So we like to look at the EV on things that you're going to consistently buy over time. Okay. If you get lucky, you're looking at, I think it's 1 point something as your crystal value. If you don't get lucky, the low is 5, but that's the same as a direct shipment anyway. Bronzium wirings. There's some controversy here. Some people say never buy these packs. I am very pro on buying the Bronzium wire packs. I think last time I bought all 10 of them. I'm always low on Bronzium wiring. Now the irony here, or Alanis Morissette irony, because I don't think it's actually ironic and I don't want to look it up, is that I am constantly farming shock prods, and you get all of the things you need to deconstruct or to scavenge for Bronzium wiring on the shock prod node, but I just never seem to have enough with the amount of things that I'm relicking. So I find that I'm constantly buying these. And if you look at the direct shipment value, 20 crystals, right? The EV on the pack is 12 crystals. If you're just buying it once, the low is 20, so it's the same as the direct shipment. The high is 5 crystals, which kind of gets it right around where the Carbonite Circuitboards direct shipment is. We're going to skip the chromium transistors. We're going to skip the iridium heat sinks. We'll talk about those later. I'll take a minute because I realized I didn't do this in the beginning, and this is kind of my thing. It is a snow day today, so I did take the liberty while my wife is working downstairs. I am drinking spiked hot chocolate out of my Sweet Mega Man mug. I'm not sponsored because I'm not cool enough for that. It's got some honey Irish whiskey and some amaretto in there, and this is like a 30-ounce mug, so when I get done with this, my wife's gonna have to deal with me. So, moving on to the Electrium Conductors, Relic 6 material. I'm finding more and more that I need more and more and more and more of these. And a year and a half ago, I never needed them because I was never bringing anything past Relic 5. But now with Rise of the Empire, I'm constantly pushing the wave counts. I'm trying to find teams for you guys. I'm always out of them. And I think last time for these, I bought every single pack that was available. Direct shipment cost, 115 crystals. Okay. Expected value, 61.7 crystals. The low is 100, so that's better than a direct shipment anyway. And if you get really lucky, the high is 33. But once again, we talk about expected value because I'm buying them constantly, and if you're at the same point in the game as I am, then you're probably buying them constantly as well. Zinbiddle Crystals, direct shipment cost 140 crystals. The EV on the pack is 78 crystals. If you get unlucky with the packs, the low is 125. The high is 78.125, and I feel like a weatherman. The thing with the Zinbiddle Crystals is since the new raid structure, so since the Crate Dragon came out and now the Speeder Raid, and since MK3, I find that I need these a lot less. So I spend a lot of my raid currency on Zinbiddle Crystals, Impulse Detectors, and the keypads, and I end up not needing them as much as I need the conductors. So it's not really as much a concern for me, but every once in a while I'll buy 3 or 4 of them depending on where my crystal hoard is because I need to make sure I got like 45,000 for when Jar Jar finally drops. Impulse Detectors, which is brand new, I think 2 events ago. You're looking at, this one's a little bit strange because the direct shipment value is 180 crystals. The EV on the packs is 113 crystals, but you can get unlucky here. Okay, so if you hit the low, you're actually higher than the direct shipment value at 250 crystals. If you hit the high, you're at lower than 113. I don't know. It'll be on the graphic somewhere. I don't have it in my notes. Oops, my bad. But again, we're talking about the EV, okay? Because if you're relicking things constantly, or if you're someone who's not getting a lot of impulse detectors and you need to buy them, you're probably going to end up buying multiple packs. It's very rare that you're going to need just 2 or just 3 or just 5 or whatever the numbers are. Aeromagnifiers, it's the same thing. The direct shipment cost is $250. So losing out on the packs themselves, it's a wash, it doesn't matter, but the math is exactly the same. Now, I haven't had to buy these ever. My guild was doing Crankcore really, really, really early on, so I have a huge hoard of them, but it is starting to run low, so there comes a point, in the future where I might have to buy those. Now, this is where we talk about the things that we don't want to buy, right? And that's kind of why we skip the chromium transistors and we skip the iridium heat sinks. Say that 3 times fast. So, chromium transistors, direct shipment costs 40 crystals. The EV on those packs, 23.8 crystals. It seems like a buy, right? Most people on Reddit probably know, maybe some newer players don't know, But if you go into the Guild Activity Store, you can get MK7 Blast Tech weapon mods, the uncrafted ones, which are not as great, obviously, but also the fully crafted ones for 150 Guild Activity tokens. And those fully crafted ones are going to scavenge for a really high value. And basically, over a period of 2 months, 3 months, 4 months of doing this at every refresh that they show up, and they're like moderately rare. You know, sometimes I go 3 or 4 days without seeing them. Sometimes I see them every refresh for 2 days. But after doing this for so long, you're going to find that you will never need chromium transistors again. You'll never have to purchase them. Also, on LS7B, which is the same place that you get shock prods and is the same exact place that you're farming bronzium wires, you're going to also find the MK7 BAW armor mod prototypes, which is the harder part of the MK7 BAW armor mods. And those, just like the weapon tech, will deconstruct into a higher value. These you'll just have to craft, but you're getting that material pretty quickly from farming the things that you already need to farm. I have literally never had to buy these things. When I've had guildmates tell me they're having trouble with them and that they've bought those packs, like I cringe a little bit, and then I kind of show them the way. And it kind of seems daunting at first when you first find out about it, but once you get there and once you've been doing it for a little while, you'll see that those are going to build up. The other thing that you never really want to buy is the iridium heat sinks. Okay. Did I say iridium heatsink before? I definitely said iridium heatsink instead of chromium transistor at some point. Whatever. We were talking about chromium transistors before, talking about iridium heatsinks now. Direct shipment cost, 100 crystals. Okay. I'm not even going to go into the numbers. The numbers will appear somewhere, but the thing is, one, these are really, really easy to get with MK1. Okay. Now that core gear is doubled, I find that I'm throwing everything at MK3 hollow projectors just to craft them later. But the other thing is that you can buy MK3 hollow projectors fully crafted, and if you deconstruct those, you're going to get not an EV, but you're going to get an actual value of 30 crystals. Okay, whereas the EV on those packs is 45.45, right? So if you end up buying those packs, you can get lucky, but if you're in big need for those heat sinks, you're going to end up losing out over just buying hollow projectors. There are a limited number of hollow projectors in the store, so that does kind of suck, but again, these are limited packs, and a big part of this game is being able to plan ahead and focus ahead and kind of learn what you need ahead of time. Right, if you know that you need like 6 R5s in a month, start buying those hollow projectors now with MK1, but with also, if you have to do it with crystals, you can buy them with crystals. Okay, so I hope I don't have to update this for a while. I imagine once Relic 10 comes out, those R9 Gerda keypads or whatever pads and droid brains, those will probably hit the store. And you'll be on your own for a while until I, have another free day to go over this. So, cheers.